Imagine being at a packed stadium, the roar of the crowd, the intensity of the game, when suddenly everything comes to a complete halt. Not because of the weather, not because of technical difficulties, but because something unexplainable is hovering in the sky above. These encounters are becoming increasingly common in the world of sports, with athletes and entire teams reporting mysterious objects in our skies. Welcome to Mysteries with a History. Let's start with NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal, who kept an extraordinary encounter secret for over 2 decades. On January 14th, 2021, during an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Shaquille finally shared his 1997 UFO experience. While on a double date in Madera, California, returning from Hollywood, he witnessed what he described as a classic flying saucer with spinning lights. As Shaquille told Kimmel, "I know it was a UFO. I don't care what anyone says." The 5-second encounter was witnessed by everyone in the car. Former NBA All-Star Baron Davis dropped a bombshell during a 2013 interview on the Champs podcast. Later reported by the New York Post and CBS Sports, Davis detailed an alleged alien encounter while driving from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, and the incident occurred in the early morning hours and ending at around 4 a.m. in Montebello, California. Involved what he described as a steel thing descending from the sky. And his detailed account included an interaction with a being he described as half human, making this one of the most intimate close encounters reported by a professional athlete. Then, in late 2023, Las Vegas Raiders defense Max Cosby and offense lineman Andre James shared their team's extraordinary experience during an episode of Bussin' with the Boys podcast. The entire Raiders team witnessed mysterious lights performing impossible maneuvers during their flight from Miami. The incident lasted approximately 20 minutes, and then they were just completely shocked. A trend that we're seeing here is people that have had UFO encounters years ago, decades ago, just started speaking out about them in 2021 and in 2023. That's when the conversation just became a lot easier for people to talk about, and for these athletes to come out one by one to share their UFO experiences from years ago is very interesting. And one thing that I've mentioned before, and I'll mention it again, is that celebrities and athletes, they are in many ways classified as influencers. People are following them left, right, and center. What are they eating? Who are they talking to? What are their interests? And them just coming forward and talking about their UFO experiences is setting a foundation for their viewers and for their audience to feel confident with their own experiences, willing to share what they encountered, what they classified as a UFO sighting. So for me, it's very exciting to see these very high-profile people sharing their encounters. Then, Baker Mayfield's March 2021 sighting near Austin, Texas, which he described on the Part of My Take podcast, involved a bright circular object descending to the road before vanishing in the night sky. And this encounter he also saw with his wife. Another compelling athlete encounter comes from NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who finally shared his extraordinary experience during the 2023 season finale of HBO's Hard Knocks. In an interview with his former college teammate Steve Levy, Rodgers detailed a 2005 incident that occurred while staying at Levy's New Jersey home during the NFL draft. Drawn outside by a distant alarm, Rodgers, Levy, and Levy's brother witnessed what Rodgers described as a tremendously large object moving through the sky and compared it to a scene straight out of Independence Day. What a funny comparison, even in 2003, where everyone's just shocked, looking up into the sky of like, what's going on? And there's this level of excitement, but also this level of fear. And in 2005, there were UFO commercials coming out from time to time. Yes, there were still some great sci-fi movies, but there wasn't this level of seriousness on the topic. So it's no surprise to me that Aaron Rodgers didn't share his experience until 20 years later, and that his memory is still pretty solid on what he experienced. But it only gets more interesting because the encounter became even more credible when fighter jets appeared shortly after, seemingly in pursuit of the object. I mentioned this in UFO News Updates, where a guy in New York heard a super loud helicopter, and the helicopter was chasing this incredibly large, bright object in the sky, and then they vanished over the tree line. But there is a constant one pattern that we have seen over the decades is that a lot of the times when a person sees a UFO, jets and military helicopters are trailing very close behind it. And ever since then, he has been researching the UFO phenomenon, noted the significance of the nearby nuclear power plant, pointed at the documented correlation between UFO sightings and nuclear facilities. That is so smart. And for him to mention that publicly is brilliant. Now, I know that you know about this. I know that you know about the correlation between UFOs and nukes because at this point, it's common knowledge. But if you just think about for a moment the reach that he has, the followers that he has, and the people that aren't familiar with the topic, for him just to bring that up, hey guys, there is a connection between UFOs and nukes. Take a look at it. I have been for a few years. I think it sparks some light bulbs in people. It's a little eureka moment because from what we know, some of the most famous cases involve the Malmstrom Air Force Base, the Vandenberg Air Force Base, Rendlesham, Roswell, and that's just to name a few. But UFOs are still being seen over nuclear facilities today. And I'm going to make this very important statement. Last year, during the Department of Energy congressional hearing, Anna Paulina Luna asked the question to the DOE secretary, what's your protocol for UAPs hovering over your nuclear facilities? And the secretary said, I can answer that in a closed setting. That was enough to tell me that they are seeing these constantly and they know how to handle it or just to let it go and just document it. I would like to see those logs to be public on how frequently UFOs are being seen over nuclear facilities, but a girl can dream. Now, we still have a lot more to cover, so hang tight, saving some of the best for last. On April 12th, I will be holding a live online event where we will play UFO trivia games, win exclusive merch, and interact with a small group of like-minded people. Get access to the event by becoming a Patreon member. That link will be in the description box below. Our next one is Muhammad Ali, perhaps the most famous athlete to have multiple UFO encounters, reported 16 different sightings during his lifetime. His most notable experience occurred while driving on the New Jersey Turnpike in the early 1970s, and in an interview with The Tonight Show in 1973, Ali described a cigar-shaped craft hovering above his car, and these sightings became so regular during his pre-dawn runs in Central Park that Ali's trainer, Angelo Dundee, often joked about scheduling train sessions around UFO watching. Isn't that strange how some people just have that one sighting? Just that one, and it's remarkable. And then others have multiple sightings. In this case, Ali had more than a dozen UFO sightings that he can remember at the very least. There is this idea, there's this theory that some people are predestined to have UFO sightings. There are also some theories that sometimes these UFOs are following generations, certain lineages, or very specific people for a reason that we don't have a full grasp on. We have some ideas, but we don't really know why some people are chosen versus others. And also a pattern here is that in many cases, people that do not care about UFOs have some of the most extraordinary sightings, while others that have been researching the topic for years, decades, months, whatever, they have never seen anything before. Isn't that kind of strange? Of course, we cannot forget the most famous case of all time. One of the most extraordinary mass UFO sightings in sports history occurred on October 27th, 1954, during a soccer match at the Stadio Artemi Franchi in Tuscany, Italy. And the game came to a complete halt when over 10,000 spectators and players, including Italian national team player Ardico Magnini, witnessed what appeared to be multiple UFOs hovering above the stadium. Magnini, who played in the 1954 World Cup, described seeing something that looked like a huge egg moving slowly across the sky, while lifelong fan Gigi Bonney recalled seeing objects shaped like Cuban cigars. However, it wasn't just a compelling sighting, but there was also a mysterious substance that fell from the sky, a silvery material dubbed angel hair that covered the stadium and the surrounding foothills. Professor Giovanni Caneri from the University of Florence analyzed samples and found they contained boron, silicon, calcium, magnesium, a composition that notably differs from the common explanation that was given during the time that, guys, it was just spider silk flying several thousand feet into the air, coming down and covering the stadium, covering the rooftops, guys. It was spider silk. It was spider webs, nothing crazy. Another detail to add here is that this substance, this dubbed angel hair, has been seen across the world over multiple UFO sightings, and in many respects, this angel hair dissolves over a certain period of time, a very short period of time, which is strange. Spider silk doesn't do that. Oh, and the incident wasn't isolated to the stadium. Multiple UFO sightings were reported across Tuscany that day, with witnesses describing rays of white light emanating from Prato, which is north of Florence. These accounts from some of sport's biggest names challenge our understanding of reality. These aren't just random observers. These are elite athletes with fine-tuned awareness and split-second reaction times. Their testimonies carry particular weight because of their professional expertise in tracking fast-moving objects. What do you think about these sports-related UFO encounters? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and do not forget to subscribe to stay up to date on UFO news, updates, case studies, interviews, and more. That is it for today. I'll see you next time. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies. If you enjoy the strange and the mysterious, UFOs, the paranormal, and cryptids, this channel is for you. So make sure to subscribe, as I do 3 videos right here every single week, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any of the bonus content I post right here.